Woo-hoo-hoo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, and ESPN producers who said something into someone's ear, get ready for another edition of The Outsiders. It's a What Are You Drinking Wednesday. Bring your beverages. We've got picks. We've got a discussion about what the heck were they talking about on game day? Don't worry. We will get to it. Let's remind you first off, it is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Looks like Bo's got a Poncho shirt on. Yep, that's the San Jacinto. I got one of the beautiful, comfy Poncho t-shirts on. They're lovely. Looks like Jason Dick's got a Poncho shirt on tonight. The only guy that doesn't have a Poncho shirt on is the Sigma Chi quarterback. But there's a reason for that. Hey, here's a couple other Poncho ideas for you. How about these bad boys? On the left, you got the Daryl. And on the right, don't forget about the kids and Poncho. Maybe it's the Ricky with the long sleeve or the Spur with the short sleeve. Look at the cute man up in the top right. Look at my man in the cowboy hat. How do you not want your kids to look that cute? PonchoOutdoors.com. Make sure you mention Orange Bloods Live when you order. All right, let's get the introductions going. Our upper left is our quarterback. He's always our first stringer, Chance Mock. What are you drinking, Chance?
Well, in honor of our friends and my brothers at the Sigma Chi fraternity, oddly enough, looks like the ex-quarterback. I don't know how that worked out, but
that's some irony right there, boys.
Hey, but in honor of that, we're opening Heaven's Door tonight because I feel like frat boys would do something like that, right? Like I was. Here we go.
Heaven's Door, double barrel whiskey. That sounds tasty.
Sounds fancy for a frat boy.
Doesn't it? 2 barrels,
well,
not just
I
one.
I wasn't in a frat. What are frats supposed to do?
I truly thought you were about to pour it in your mouth. I'm glad that you have a glass there.
Oh, my God.
If McAfee can do it, I can do it.
There you go.
All right.
Fantastic. Our lower right tonight is the legendary Jason Dick. He's probably been taking a tub, and now he's taking time for us. Jason, what are you drinking?
Hey, we're not talking about Major Applewhite versus Chris Sims here. All right, guys?
That's right.
Sorry,
No, we're not.
No, it's been a busy day here at Dick Manor writing jokes like that. So I didn't make it to the store to get any sort of interesting beverage. But I do have a full stein of fruit punch Crystal Light that I'm going to enjoy during the program tonight. So let's get.
Is that what the floor looked like after tub time?
Even when he thinks,
even when
he thinks he's being basic, he's not. And for the record, Jason, hold up that stein. This is the amount of blood Jason lost in his fall.
I wish it was only this much. Okay. I wish that it was only this much.
We are glad that it is in that stein and not coming out of your face anymore. And we're glad you're all right. Your lower left, as always, is the country gorilla. It's Bo Edge. Bo, what are we drinking?
Well, I already made one, but in honor of what we're doing in fraternity night for Chance, we're just going to pour a little more into the old glass of roux there. This is Michter's. I don't drink it straight out of the bottle. But I will say, when the challenge in the gauntlet is laid down later to Mr. Reese Davis, this is America, and I will be drinking another Big Sips America because it was so good the first time.
Nice. But, another America flavored. As long as Bo and Chance have poured brown water tonight, let's remind you, Specs has a whiskey sale going on right now.
Specs for our whiskey sale and enjoy the lowest prices on Texas' largest selection of whiskey. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Specs, cheers to savings.
Healthy outsiders pour there at the end. That outsiders pour at the end is sexy. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. For those that missed the event, here is what happened on College Game Day last week. They were in Norman getting ready for Tennessee and Oklahoma, but why would they talk about that? That's boring. They wanted to talk about the Texas quarterback situation and quarterback room because it's way more interesting. And then this happened.
They're acting like this is Chance Mock out there with Vince Young waiting behind him to get in the game. Quinn Ewers is not some dude they pulled off the Sigma Chi intramural field.
Yeah.
He can play.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers was actually 14 of 16 with 2.
There you go. Here it is. Chance Mock catching weird strays at game day. Obviously, Chance, we have to let you start with a reaction. You want to give us your perspective on this? Were you watching at the time? Did somebody tell you about it? Like, how did you find out?
Well, first, let me say to my friend Pat McAfee, yeah, he was 14 of 16. I set a school record for being the first one to start a game 10 for 10 versus Rice, which is about the same as playing the little bag of garbage that we were playing when Quinn was there, okay? Mm-hmm. I beat the Owls, so we'll just stay with that. Secondly, so I'm driving along. I'm having a great Saturday morning, you know. I'm cruising down I-10. I'd already stopped at Buc-ee's. I had my beaver nuggets because that's what we do in Texas, right? Like I've got my beaver nuggets in my bag. I filled up my truck with gas. I didn't even use my company card because it was the weekend, so I was feeling good about myself. I was following all the PPBs, like doing what I'm supposed to do, you know. Might have had this app called Fubo on. You know, I think it goes over Bluetooth. I don't know how the technology works, but I was able to watch Gameday as I was driving, but my eyes were on the road. Mm-hmm. And they start talking about, you know, the Texas quarterbacks. I'm excited. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm almost to about the Smithville exit. And then my name comes out. I almost swerved and end up in LaGrange at the chicken house because I had to go back. And I pushed the back button like twice. I go, what the hell did he just say? He said, we're not talking about Chance Mock and Vince Young. Quinn's actually good. We did not go get the Sigma Chi intramural quarterback to come out and play. Okay, I don't toot my own horn, but at that moment I was banging on my steering wheel and the horn may have gone a couple times.
So you were tooting your own horn.
I was tooting somebody's horn, and it was the truck's horn is who I was tooting. I may have slammed my head on the steering wheel. The airbag may or may not have deployed from the impact of my head on the steering wheel as I'm going 20 years later, and I'm still getting run over catching strays by the guys at ESPN. And the most hurtful part of the entire thing is our friend Kirk Herbstreit. Bo, do you remember what Kirk happened to say about me before the Arkansas game?
I do, and we actually played the clip multiple times on our radio show Back on the Horn, but it was to make fun of you, not in this particular outlet. Me and JD used to have fun with the clip. I asked our pseudo guest producer Blake to find it from 2003 in the Arkansas game, but I couldn't find it. But Kirk Herbstreit had you in his top 3 Heisman candidates in the pregame of Arkansas, Texas on ABC. He had you number 3. He didn't have you number 1, but he had you number 3. But he had you on his list of 3 Heisman candidates and even mentioned 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for the number 1 team in the country. He was a big fan, Herbstreit was, of your work. Now,
he was a big fan of Reese's joke too, apparently.
Well, I mean, they all have to be a fan of Reese's jokes, right? I mean, you got to be a fan of each other when you're on the desk. Even Saban, Saban doesn't like anybody's jokes.
What I'm recommending, and I will drink a shot of Big Sips America in a minute to pound home the point, is possibly Reese Davis has realized that he made a mistake, that he kind of interfered with outsider nation business, that he went after our QB1. And even though your shirt says Sigma Chi QB1, it really reads like X QB1. You're nobody's X QB1. You'll always be QB1 on the outsiders. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Maybe Reese, the next time game day comes to DKR, can issue a formal apology to young Chance Mock. Well, or at least let McAfee let you kick the field goal for $50,000 because I bet you'd make it.
Yeah, Bo, the idea Alan's throwing out is Chance needs to be the guest picker when Georgia rolls into town for game day. We have no control.
I said that 2 days ago. I said that 2 days ago.
But Jason, while we
bathtub, so nobody heard you.
We do not. That's why you're taking
sometimes don't count them the real world.
We don't have control of that. What we do have control over is a formal invitation to the outsiders for Reese Davis the week Texas and Georgia get together. So, Bo, can we get it together? Can we get an official, can we get something put together where we ask Reese to come on the show the Wednesday before Georgia?
Oh, that's a done deal. I make no guarantees I can actually pull off that rabbit out of the hat.
Okay.
But Reese Davis should be a guest on the Outsiders, if for no other reason than to apologize. Like, I'm not saying our boy, Mr. QB5 up there in the top left corner, deserved anything more than any praise out of the situation, but he didn't deserve the bullet in the neck that he got. Like, all you can just say is, this isn't Vincent Chance, whatever, move on. You call him a fraternity intramural quarterback.
I know.
I love my boy. Chance was a Rivals 5-star Elite 11 quarterback. He's not some dude throwing Nerf footballs off Whitaker Fields back when I was in school.
I don't want to mess up our chance to get Reese Davis, but if he's on the show, can I say, hey, we're not talking about Reese Davis and Chris Fowler here, okay? It's not a guy who we plucked off of local TV.
Can I tell y'all, though, how close I was? Because, I like to mess around. But in today's world, maybe messing around might not be such the best idea. I almost came out with a tape on my ear from catching strays on Saturday.
I thought you handled it well, Mr. Mock, with the tweet that you put up from Half Baked with the F you, you're cool, F you, and you gave Nick Saban a shout out for being the cool one.
Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, I think
Big America engaged.
Okay.
Big America engaged.
No
I think
Set the clock, guys.
Well, no, I'm not chugging it.
real
drink it in Reese Davis's honor, because this drink is the taste of this drink is consistent with his performance on that game day. Y'all can infer what you will with that. But Reese, I'm drinking this shot in a challenge. I'm challenging your America. I'm challenging the America in your heart. If you have America in your heart, you are going to have a conversation on the Outsiders, or at least formally apologize on game day at DKR to the man formerly known as EXQB1.
No, there it is.
Yeah. Well, look, in all seriousness, and I don't know if you have the clip available again. Here's the truth of the matter. Reese is a really, really good guy. And if anybody followed my tweets and everything else, I was having fun with it. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. F you, you're cool. F you, I'm out. I threw the I love Lucy, you got some splaining to do today, Reese. Like, I'm having fun with it, right? If we play that clip one more time and you listen to it, it's really kind of funny because Reese's joke, it was actually really good. The delivery might not have been on Jason Dick's level of delivery because he mixed two together, therefore inferring that one was the other. And so the joke came off, the stray came off as an attempt at a good joke, and they were not. But the way, play it again and listen to how he says it again.
There was some joke math here. Let's listen to the joke math that he got caught in.
They're acting like this is Chance Mock out there with Vince Young waiting behind him to get in the game. Quinn Ewers is not some dude they pulled off the Sigma Chi intramural fields. He can play.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers was actually 14 and 16 with two.
Yeah, because there's the very beginning of it. Hey, we've talked about the fact that Quinn and Arch is not you and Vince. We've had that discussion and fleshed out why that might be true. It's just that we didn't continue and go to that. Yeah, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense once he got there. So, but deep down, like, I don't know the guy personally, but he's always come across as a decent guy to me. I believe he is a Georgia guy, by the way. I think he's a Georgia Bulldog. But to me, I think he just smashed two ideas together. I'm like, I don't think he meant that Chance was a fraternity quarterback. I think he just got kind of caught up in what this was, and didn't quite. But just to his credit a little bit, somebody in the chat was like, hey, no disrespect, but kind of cool that he remembers Chance's name from back in the day. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I guess he did remember Chance's name.
No disrespect to my friend Chance Mock, who I was there, all right, versus Texas Tech yelling, can I get some Chance Mock in this mother effer? But look, Chad, and you guys probably all know, It's a long show. You got to fill up the show with something. I think it starts at like 1 a.m. now. All right. But who is this joke
starts
for?
At 1 a.m. It starts at 1 a.m. for our boy Pat McAfee, and he just keeps rolling.
Yeah. Who is this joke for? Like, it's so, not to say that you weren't and aren't still a big deal, Chance, but like so narrow. And go for that. Why even go there? What are you doing?
Well, Jason, I think the point he was trying to make, and as someone whose words gets jumbled up once in a while, and maybe a name gets mispronounced, or
not you.
I'm speaking about this guy, just so we're on the same page. I screw crap up all the time, even though my intent is good. My intent is pure. I think the point he was trying to make was this Arch Quinn thing isn't like Chance and Vince, because Quinn had already been to the playoffs. Because Quinn, while he was a Heisman candidate this year, had already been through a season. He had his bona fides. So this wasn't the young hotshot Arch, which is the equivalent of Vince Young in this scenario, more running than throwing, super hyped up guy that the fans are clamoring for. This isn't one of those scenarios where it's the guy that had started 3 games. No offense, Chance, you're a brother to me. But he was trying to say you hadn't established what Quinn had established, so this isn't the same thing. But it was live TV. It was a situation where his words just got away from him, and he busted out. He tried to make it up with the joke with the Sigma Chi thing, and probably was funny on his end, wasn't funny on our end. We're going to give him a chance to apologize. But the point he was trying to make was the young hotshot taking the established guy's job isn't going to happen in this scenario because Quinn is so established.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, we have first off a super chat. Thank you to S. Roan. Remember, super chats go right to the top of the list. Thank you for the $5, S. Roan. Kirk Herbstreit had a 5-touchdown, 11 interception ratio in his college career. LOL. See, there's no reason to just rip on a man.
In Kirk's defense, that was also his amount of. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to leave the joke because we may actually try to get Reese Davis on, and I can't just. I'm not going to catch Kirk with a stray. I had a joke. Stop it.
Chance, we have 2 ideas for if you head down to game day when Texas and Georgia are in, getting ready. There are 2 ideas for signs you can make. The first idea, Chance needs to hold up a sign behind Reese saying it's not like this is Chris Berman versus Reese Davis, kind of to Jason's idea. Go with a little
Scott Van Pelt, though, because he's way better than Berman.
Little broadcaster. I kind of like this vibe here. Go with it's not like this is Michael Dixon versus Pat McAfee. There you go. Not bad.
I may go with that. Like, here's the thing.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like that.
This is the funny thing, and I don't want to go into it because it's a past life, and I've said, and Bo knows this. You guys know this. We talk about it. That part of me is I enjoy that era. I don't live through it. It doesn't define who I am or what I am. Right? That's not who I want to be. But it's kind of funny to get mentioned. And so Reese Davis is a good guy. Had plenty of chances to meet him. I've been around him. He really is a nice guy. It was fun. It was funny. It was a terrible joke, but that's okay. He's not on there to be the jokester. That's okay. It's fine. All I hope is that someday I want to turn on Game Day and see one of our outsider loyals with a Chance Mock is the best Sigma Chi quarterback to ever walk the planet. I want an honorary Sigma Chi. I want to be in the Sigma Chi honorary Hall of Honor.
Hey, all I know is, Chance, if you don't get invited to a Sigma Chi party at UT in the next 2 to 3 weeks, something's going wrong. If y'all know some Sigma Chi out there, we need to get Chance at the house for the next big raver. Let's go.
I don't know. I'm 42. I'm 42. In the days of freak offs and baby oil, I don't know that I want to go to a party, but if I could just be in their Hall of Honor, that'd be cool.
There you go. How about an honorary membership?
Yeah, that's it.
I haven't been at the University of Texas as a student in 25 years, but I did hear some rumblings. I think the Sigma Chi's actually were asked to leave the campus a few years back for some incident. I don't know if there actually is still a Sigma Chi house. If there is Sigma Chi's, I know you're getting drunk and watching The Outsiders. DM my boy, DM me on Twitter. We'll set it up. But I really think Sigma Chi's aren't hanging around anymore.
Oh, fantastic.
Well,
fantastic. Here's oh, wow, look at this. A little $10 super chat out of nowhere from Big Cheddar. $10. Good evening, gents. Thanks again for taking on the side bet with my picks last week. I'm excited to receive my poncho gear. Keep up the great work. This show always makes my night. Thank you, Chad, for that. He did go 3-0. Little side bet at the end of the show. Bo said, hey, if you go 3-0, we'll get you a poncho shirt. And that is in the works. So.
I am a man of my word. I've already had a conversation with Mr. Gibson. He has given me his poncho shirt order. And because he's been such a good listener, chatter, whatever the heck you say in 2024 YouTube land, I'm sending him a hat too. He's getting a poncho shirt, poncho hat. He's giving me his address. I got his size. When we put in our order next week, he will have one drop shipped to his house. I won't say where he lives in case anybody's, kind of weird. But Chad Gibson is going to get his action. Everyone out there, we haven't paid off the bet on the Pick'em contest. We'll make our picks later. The first chatter that we select that goes 3-0 gets a poncho shirt. Full button up. You can get the San Jacinto. You can get the one Jason's wearing. You can get any one poncho, pearl snap, button shirt you want. You got to go 3-0. So put your picks in, 3 against the spread, and then they'll, Chad or Chance will pick who that guy is. If you hit 3-0, you get a poncho.
Yep, there you go. All right, and we got Blake, the super producer, ready to come in and make some picks. We will do that after.
I want Paxton to pick.
What? Who? Where?
Somebody named Paxton. I want to see his picks.
He seems to be a big Chance Mock fan.
He does. You know what? I think I'm going to sign one of these shirts and send it to his ass or tell him to come pick it up for me personally.
I would like to see Paxton come tell you what he said in our chat to any one of the 4 of us' face. Even Tub Time Boy would kick Paxton's ass.
That doesn't sound like I need to go back and find out what Paxton said.
Can I go back to being Bear Dick? Do I have to be Tub Time Boy? This is not fun.
For a while you do. For a while you absolutely
when you
do.
Open up your heart and tell a story about Tub Time and how you busted your job.
Yeah.
Like,
right now taking a tub supersedes the Bear Dick. Later, it's different.
Doesn't even know the taking a tub reference. At some point, you're gonna have to explain to Chance what taking a tub means.
Sure.
Well, in the first part, the first time when I heard y'all talking about taking a tub, I thought you said taking a tug with a G, and I was like, why are we talking about this on YouTube?
I don't want to know what happens when Jason has tub time, but we're not getting into that.
That is not what we're talking about at all. We're going to be talking about our picks. But right now, we're going to be talking about Covert Ford. Truck first, then Bo.
With Covert Ford of Austin, all season we're bringing the football fun to you with unbeatable deals on our all-new Ford F-150s. Whether you're tailgating with friends or cruising to the big game, our powerful trucks are your perfect MVP. Come experience the rugged performance and cutting-edge features that make every drive an experience. Touchdown savings await at Covert Ford of Austin, a family tradition since 1909. CovertFord.com.
Covert Ford, right there on 183. Whether it's a Mustang, a Raptor, a Bronco, a Raptor Bronco, a Ford Escort, whatever it is that you need, Covert Ford has it. They have vehicles in every price range, all the way up to the Super Duty trucks, Econoline vans for commercial use. Whatever you need, Covert Ford has it, and they're there for you before, during, and after the sale. That's why there's always a Covert on the sales floor at all their locations. But at Covert Ford, it's Kenny Covert and our boy, Chris Abbott. So go into Covert Ford on 183 and tell Mr. Abbott exactly what you would like, and he'll make it happen. Covert Ford, been in business over 100 years for a reason. They do it right. And they're closed on Saturdays for obvious reasons. That's game days. They're open on Sundays. So after you watch the Longhorns destroy Mississippi State, go in and get you a new truck at Covert Ford on 183.
It is the Outsiders on a Wednesday. By the way, Bo's rocking the Astros hat tonight. Congrats to the Astros winning the AL West.
Technically, it's just a bootleg hat that says H-Town.
Yeah, but it is. That's what it is, right? That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I just want to say there was only one person
from my lovely bride many years ago.
Hey, there was only one person on these 4 boxes that was sitting 5 rows above the Astros dugout yesterday afternoon when the Astros clinched yet another AL West title.
Oh,
Just saying.
And
Look at
that's
that.
what I was saving America for.
That is a nice brag right there. All right, let's bring him in. It's Blake, the super producer. He's ready to go. He's ready to make picks. Chance Mock definitely does not get to pick first. The man with the big picture gets to pick first because he is in the lead. By the way, hang on. Let me just show everybody this graphic because Jason's going to really appreciate this graphic. Jason, look how pretty. Look at this graphic.
My goodness.
I mean, you got highlighting, you got burnt orangeness. Jason, then the chatters combined, then me, then Blake, then Mach 5, and way down at the bottom is the country gorilla, Bo Ed.
Why does my name still say Chance? It is supposed to say Chat GP Chance or Chance GPT. That's
I think it should say Sigma Chi. Just let it be Sigma Chi and let it roll.
Sigma Chi GPT will be next week. Yeah, we'll make sure to have that. All right, Jason Dick is going to be first this week. Since you are so good at making these picks, why don't you go ahead and justify these 3 picks, sir?
I've been using this highly analytical method called totally guessing, which has led me to the top of the standing. So that's tremendous. I guess, I'm going to start Georgia -2.5 at Alabama. Alabama has been better than I think we expected. I think Jalen Milroe probably the best running quarterback in the country. But if you're telling me I get to lay less than a field goal with Georgia, I'm going to take Georgia. Washington State +8 at Boise because no reason. And then my pick of the week, North Carolina getting 3 points at Duke.
There you go.
Mac Brown. I once told Mac Brown on the radio that I was so appreciative of what he did for the University of Texas and bringing us a national championship that he could sleep on my couch anytime he needed to. And he said, I might take you up on that someday, Jason. And last week he gave up 70 points. And I was like, he might have to. But
hey, Sally, who's that radio guy? I said in a minute about sleep on the couch. Call him up.
He's a proud man. Okay. He's a proud man. And Mac Brown, he does not give up. And so this week you're giving me points with North Carolina. I'm going to take the Tar Heels +3 at Duke. That looks like a winning strategy. 3 road teams. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
There you go. A little bit of Mac Brown candy on that one. All right.
Hey,
that means
what you missed, Jason, is the QB for Duke has burnt orange in his heart too. You're wrong because Malik Murphy's putting Mac down.
I saw Malik Murphy try to throw a pass to an offensive lineman one time. So I stand terrified.
Hey, why are you throwing strays at Malik Murphy? Devout long. You just pulled a Reese Davis on Malik Murphy.
So, Jason, I really enjoy the idea of 3 road teams, and I went one step further because when you're a kid, candy is cool, but traveling candy is even cooler. You're riding in the car, and somebody says, hey, I got candy. We're going with some road team candy this week. Let's start with Virginia Tech, +20 at Miami. 20 is a lot. That's a lot of points. I know Virginia Tech's not terrific, and I know Miami's supposedly badass. I'm going to take those points with Virginia Tech. How about Kentucky and Ole Miss? Prove it to me, Lane Kiffin. This is one of those games where you just don't pay attention. Your team just forgets to show up, and maybe you don't lose it, but maybe it ends up being a lot closer. I'll take Kentucky and 17.5 on the road. And finally, Notre Dame. This is one of those games. This is the game I thought you'd lose after you left College Station, and I knew you weren't the number 5 team. Northern Illinois jumped up. By the way, I did get the Northern Illinois helmet. Yeah, right there. Wow. They beat you, and then everybody forgot and thought, well, no, there's not this is another danger game. I'll take Louisville plus that 6.5 at Notre Dame. 3 big hunks of the traveling candy this week. That is where we're going. Blake, the super producer, is next. Oh, he's going after my Aggies in this game. Here we go. What do you got, Blake?
No. Well, I saw y'all going with 3 road teams, and I thought, oh, man, should I go 3 home teams? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going 3 totals. We're going with Arkansas A&M under 52.5. Arkansas thinks they're hot S after beating Auburn by 10 points. I don't think they're going to score much in this game. Under 52.5. TCU and Kansas over 58.5. Both of those teams have had some wacky high-scoring games. I think that one's the same. And then, of course, the Bobcats at Sam Houston. Bobcats are going to score 40 on their own. That's going to hit the over 55.5. Easy.
There it is. All right, overs and unders.
So I will tell you, Blake, the super producer, I was sitting at the campus of Texas State on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
My son was doing a little workout there at the baseball facility with actually my stepfather's cousin, Stephen Trout, the head coach over at Texas State.
And name dropping, my God.
And hold on, let's hit the bell again. I was with the guy.
Name drop one more former Longhorn that was there.
Huh?
We've got a few of them, but I'm not a former Longhorn. I'm going to name drop a former Sam Houston State Bobcat, my buddy Keith Heinrich, who played many years in the NFL. And I was with Keith, and he was like, we are going to – because I was telling him, I said, look, my boy G.J. Kinney is doing a hell of a job here. G.J. Kinney is doing – he has got this eye – his eyes might not be on it, but the eyes of the Baylor Bear faithful are on
absolutely.
San Marcos, Texas right now, and what G.J. Kinney is doing. But he just said, look, this stadium is nice. We're going to mud stomp them on Saturday. I'm just telling you what was said.
I tell you what, Chance, there's a reason I didn't take Texas State -9, which is what that number is. I took the over because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know if Texas State wins by 10 points. I think they're going to win the game, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for sure.
I'm fighting for the fight. I'm going for the fighting G.J. Kinneys is what I'm doing.
Oh,
all right. Speaking
Blake,
of Chance,
look at Blake with the hat. Can we put Blake back in the big box for a second? First of all, I want to point out, look at his screen name. Look what this young man has done. This guy, this kid does jokes. All right, I like it.
It's very nice. All right, Chance Mock, it's your turn to pick, and it looks like you're starting in T-Town.
I am. Look, this is more. The first one is more of a wishful thinking. I do think Georgia covers. I think it's a very, very close game. I'm with Jason. My gut tells me Alabama wins this ball game, but my heart is telling me I want so bad Georgia to beat Bama so that we can beat Georgia and that both of those teams have a loss and we can just take care of the problem. So I'm sticking with Georgia over Bama. I got the Aggie Arky. I think it's an under. I think defenses rule the day in that game. I think that number's really high for what that game's going to be. It's always a dogfight, man. A&M, Arkansas, either one of those teams can be absolutely dog crap going into that game, and for whatever reason, it is a wild, fun game. So that's going to be a good one. Kentucky, I think they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. I really, really, really do. And I think Ole Miss, I love Lane Kiffin. I mean, watching him with his daughter talking on whatever that was, Instagram. I don't know what that was because I don't have whatever app that was, but I saw it on Twitter, and it's freaking hysterical. Y'all know I love Lane Kiffin, but I'm taking the Kentucky Wildcats to at least cover that 17.5.
Yeah, I like that one too. All right, bringing up the rear, the country gorilla. It's Bo Edge himself. Bo, where are you going here?
Okay, let me point out a couple of things before we get started on the pick part.
Okay.
One, I may be a dumbass this year, but I was the champion last year. So until my crown is taken off my head, I still have the opportunity to come back, and this is when it starts.
Hold on, wait a second.
It's a 3-0 week, and everyone else can F off. Second thing.
Wait, 1 second. Stop, Astros fan. Do you want to spend 10 minutes with Blake and me telling you about last year's Rangers championship? No, it's about the here and the now.
Listen here.
It's about the here and the now, and you're 3-9.
Okay, fine, Lou Holtz. Wait till the end of the year. Most Aggie thing ever is talking smack in September about something you did in September and not seeing how it finishes.
I'm not in a position to talk smack. I am in a position to tell you to stop talking about the past. What do you mean? You know I won this last year. Y'all know that? Last year. Remember last year?
I'm just letting everybody know that the roller coaster is now going up the carousel. This is a 3-0 week.
Hey, Blake. Blake, you remember last year? Oh, man, last year. God, I just love last year. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, now that we finished that, one, Paxton, whatever Chance did to your girlfriend in college, let it go. Okay, Chance is a good It's done.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your girlfriend was taken by Chance Mock for a night of session, but it's over, Paxton. Get the fuck over it. All right, now to the picks. I'm going to dub these 3 picks. You remember Tommy Boy when he said fat guy in a little coat? We're going 2 fat guys and an athletic guy. 2 fat guys, the 2 fat coaches, Britt Bielema with Illinois and Mike Elko from Texas A&M, are going to use their offensive lines and grit and guile to pull out wins this week. And then the athlete is Coach Prime. Coach Prime should not be getting 14.5. Colorado's not a great football team, but Shedeur Sanders is the king of a backdoor cover. Give him the fourth quarter only down by 24 points when the other team's already putting in their backups, and watch Shedeur Sanders pack up the numbers. Colorado gets within 2 touchdowns, and something's weird with the A&M line that opened at 11, A&M minus 11, and now is 4. And the rumors are that Connor Weigman's going to start. Did they really drop the line by 7 points because Connor, I didn't go to the SEC media days, is now starting again? If everybody's going this way, I'll go this way. Give me the Fighting Farmers to at least win by 4 over the stupid idiots from Arkansas.
How about that? That's a way to get Bo to actually give some love to the Aggies. Put them up against Arkansas. That's the only way to do it.
Hey, two fat guys and an athletic guy, and Chad Hastings is another good name for this show. All right, that would be.
That would be good. Yeah.
And
Blake fat, Jason?
Oh my God. All right. Chance Mock, before we go any further, why don't you give the folks a little update on the world of Arch Public? Because I think we have some updated numbers for the people.
We do have some updated numbers. And let me tell you, everybody but Paxton, make sure you pay attention to this note, because we like making money. I'm not going to say how much money, but these are our trades during the month of September. You see, there is a negative there. I put a nice cross through it. We did lose 1.45. So you know what? It is Arch Public, and in a way, it's like Arch Manning. He did throw touchdowns. He did throw interceptions, but you still won 51-3. That's how Arch Public works. We are up over 30%. I cannot tell you what to do with your money. I will never tell you what to do with your money. That is not who I am. All I can tell you is what I'm doing and how I trust these guys. What they do is they take the algorithm, they take computers, they take emotion out of trading. Here's the best part. The money stays in your account. You're only in the market for maybe 45 minutes to an hour every time it takes a trade, and you're out and the money is back in your account. You either win, you either lose, but the money's yours. I transfer it back and forth on a daily basis just to make sure everything is good, and it works. 30%. I mean, I'm not real good with math, but I'm just going to tell y'all, if you had put $50,000 with Arch Public, you'd have made $15,000 just in the last 4 months. That ain't bad. Check it out, Arch Public, Tillman Holloway, my guys. Let them talk to you. Just go talk to them. It may work for your portfolio. It may not. All I can do is tell you these are the guys that I trust. I think you should talk to them, make a decision on your own. Arch Public, scan that QR code, or just go check them out at thearchpublic.com.
All right. Remember, if you get your picks in and you go 3-0, if we pick you and you go 3-0, you're going to win a poncho shirt. So get those picks in. Blake, the super producer, has been collecting those picks, and so we'll make that choice coming up.
So wearing a beautiful poncho hoodie at the moment as well.
Oh, look at that. Poncho. It's good. Everybody's got poncho gear.
Big Cheddar asked, and so I will say, I didn't pick Illinois to win straight up, although I think it's a possibility. Illinois is getting 18.5 from Penn State. Drew Aller ain't that good. He is not going to be able to put up that many points against a tough-minded Illinois defense coached by the largest man in college football since Mark Mangino isn't involved anymore, and Brett Bielema. I will take Illinois to keep it within 18.5, not win straight up. Let's get it
road
right.
Candy. Yeah, he went road candy on that one. All right, let me see. I don't see any super chats right now.
Hey, you don't see any super chats, but our guy ATX Bates.
Yes.
You remember he was going to make us a lure? Have y'all seen it on Twitter? He made a lure. It is freaking awesome.
He made the Outsiders a fishing lure?
He made Chance one.
Oh, he made he made
There's
the
only one of
quarterback
us.
the
There's
outside.
only
Okay.
one of us that is reaping the wounds of a mere flesh wound
Uh-huh.
of the stray that I caught on Saturday.
Right. He made this guy a fishing lure. Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy.
You see the scar right there?
Yeah, that guy gets a fishing lure. All right, so we got other stuff to do tonight. We may look at Chance's updated SEC power rankings. I think we have some dick moves of the week to discuss.
Oh, we do.
But we also have the picks to make for Texas and Mississippi State. We are here, gentlemen. It is the first official SEC pick for the Longhorns. Can you feel it just meaning more? I know I can. We're going to start with Jason Dick since he's out in front of all these picks. Jason, what's going to happen at DKR when Texas is officially an SEC team?
I got Texas.
Good.
Did you come up with that?
How many few claps for that one?
It's such a anticlimactic start to the SEC season in that they host Mississippi State, who I'm pretty sure, spoiler alert, they're at the bottom of Chance's SEC rankings. Okay, and Texas is what, a 38.5 point favorite. So yeah, I'm so pumped. It just means more. I'm gonna go tailgate, and then during the game, I'll be at my friend Deb O'Keefe's birthday party. But give me 42-10 Texas.
42-10.
Yeah. I think I think it's going to be an Arch Manning show, but they're not going to run it up, so it's not a cover for Texas. But I will take 42-10 Longhorns.
You know what, Jason? You and I are thinking similarly in one way, and in another way, I'm going to get them to the cover just barely. 42-3. I'm going to take a touchdown off the board for Mississippi State. I'm going to trust that Texas defense. And frankly, I've watched this Mississippi State team a little bit. Whew, they are rough to watch. They're horrid on defense, and they're not a ton better on offense. I'm going 42-3. Texas covers just barely. Blake, the super producer, what do your Longhorns do when they go after this group in maroon and white?
I'm going to give Mississippi State their props. I'm going to say they're going to do something that hasn't been done in a couple weeks against the Longhorns. They're going to score one touchdown, and the Longhorns are going to win 49-10.
49-10. That is a definite kind of score. Chance Mock, Reese Davis's favorite quarterback. What's going to happen, brother?
Hey, not everybody can be a intramural quarterback that gets mentioned on game day, but I pulled that off. Okay.
Yes.
There may have been some intramural kickers who attempted Pat McAfee's field goal for $50,000. No quarterbacks. So I've got that. Look, I think this is one of those games. It's almost a name your number, but I do think that, there are some tiebreaker rules that come into effect. I think the thing that's crazy is this defense. I think the Texas defense, normally it's hard on these games to pick what the score is going to be because when the starters come out, you get second and third team guys, but these second, third team guys are keeping people out of the end zone, and they're making plays. I'm going 45-10 Texas, but I think it's probably significantly more convincing. I think it feels like a 63-10 type game, but I think 45-10 is where it ends up.
45-10. That would certainly be definitive. We're going to finish off with Bo Edge. Bo, what happens when it's Longhorns and
Let me
Bulldogs?
point out for the record, there's only one person in this room who has won a football intramural championship at the University of Texas. The 1998 club intramural championship.
Wow.
Center for the Texas Iron Spikes was this guy. I
what a
have this
brag.
shirt. I've also – so let me just say, I'm the only one who's won an intramural football title. And what I did was I took Chad's score and Jason's score and morphed them into 48-3 Texas.
Ooh, okay.
That brag rivals. That brag rivals. Sometimes I take a tub.
Well, that's almost as good as your name dropping Deb O'Keefe's birthday party. As if that was
Actually, delete that. Okay, delete that because I'm sure people are going to flood to her birthday party now. Okay, they're going to be searching.
Just don't give out her address, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, by the way, look at this. Look at this, Chance. ATX Bates says if A&M wins, I'll make you one. Okay. Well, there you go. I was already rooting for the Aggies to beat Arkansas. Now I'm really rooting for the Aggies to beat
You root for
Arkansas.
the Aggies every week. That doesn't matter.
Sure. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, like now, I hope even more. 52-13. The Lee OB says it's going to be that kind of a game. Here's ATX Bates. 56-3. Mississippi State loses starting quarterback and running back, freshman quarterback on the road against elite defense. 56-3. Yeah, Shapen is out for the year. For those that missed it, I didn't realize they lost their running back as well.
They lost their running back. They lost their quarterback. They have the lowest rated defensive line and cornerbacks in the SEC. Yeah. They're a train wreck. Oh. This is why I keep telling y'all Quinn Ewers should never step foot on that football field. There is no gain to it. Yeah. The only people that want Quinn Ewers to be on that football field are people that play video games and think the stats matter for like Heisman campaigns or whatever. This is about winning a trophy. It's not about stats. It's not about stature. Quinn's done enough. Quinn should never see the field.
No, look, Mississippi State is Stark Vegas is its own little weird place. They really haven't been good since Sylvester Croom had that 1, 2, 3 year kind of window when he did well.
Damn. You went back to Sylvester Croom? Dan Mullen had that team at number 1 with Dak, didn't he?
No.
They were like number 1 or 2 in the country, Chance.
And how long did that last?
It was about a season, but I mean,
hold on. Sylvester built something that was there. Dak did what Dak did. I was a huge Dak fan when he was at Mississippi State.
Dak did what he did with the Cowboys. He did great in the regular season, but when it came time that it mattered, he threw 4 picks and they lost.
Right.
Who started saying we were talking Cowboys? What is going on?
Yeah. And see, look, I didn't even try to give anybody a stray. I was trying to throw Sylvester Croom some love.
Stray episode, sir.
Yeah, Mark Mangino got a stray earlier. That was pretty brutal.
That really was.
He's going to be talking about that on his podcast tomorrow night.
That was.
The way Dak and the Cowboys are playing, he should check if he has eligibility left, and he could be on the field Saturday at DKR.
They better come up with their NIL money, or he'll walk after week 3.
That's going to be a lot.
You're going to need a lot.
Former Texas coach Brendan Marion has some splaining to do up in UNLV with $100,000 that disappear.
Man, oh man. Yeah. How about UNLV? The quarterback and the running back have both basically said, we're done. We're going to take a redshirt year.
Well, but the running back comes after the quarterback, and that's a big deal, right? And we can get into it. And Bo, I was having a conversation today, and I said, look, here's what I hate about the NIL is that everything is done with a freaking handshake. This is what you're going to do. We're going to do this for you, and it's like the wild, wild freaking West, and that's where, to me, college football really messed up. See, I caught myself. I'm being good for this is PG TV.
You didn't want to drop $1 in the jar for your mother.
I did not, because my mother, they're having a watch party right now because Danny was on Dancing with the Stars last night, and he made his appearance, and apparently his dancing wasn't great. But, all the moms that basically raised Danny when he was a kid here in the Woodlands, they're all watching Danny on Dancing with the Stars.
I think Jason's looking at you not knowing who Danny is, having lived around you for 25 years. Danny Amendola. He's from the Woodlands.
Okay.
Yeah. I've known Danny since he was 4 years old, maybe 4 or 5 years old. His older brother, Matt, played at Baylor. We grew up together and he played at Baylor. But anyway, so it's just, to me, this whole thing is so funny because I think that players should be compensated. But I think the way the NCAA went about it is so bad for the game of football. It's bad for the players. It's bad for the universities.
We're stepping all over my dick move now, and maybe it was Bo's dick move as well.
No, I have another dick move for you, sir. It involves my son in charitable donations, so you can.
No. Can we jump into the dick move of the week real quick?
I think we need to. I think
we should. Before we get to that,
dick.
Is it y'all gonna have to help me here? Matt Sluka of UNLV is the quarterback, or as my podcast co-host calls him, more like Matt Sluka, my D. If you think I'm gonna play without the check clearing, But he says he's going to sit out the rest of the year, red shirt, because there was $100,000 promised and now it's not there. And so he's like, I'm out of here. And basically, I think my point is the same as Chance's. If you think I'm going to make Matt the dick move, no. The NCAA, what are we doing? Okay? What's going on? And when this whole thing started, that was my thing. I was kind of like, I don't want to say I was anti-paying the players. I think they should be paid. But when this whole thing started, I was like, all right, well, what's the plan? And the NCAA was like, well, just don't use it as a recruiting inducement. And that's worked great. And here we are. It's been 3 years, right? And there's just no regulation. There's no rules. There's nothing. And they were just like, yeah, just go do what you want. So I say, NCAA, your NIL, sticking your head in the sand. Dick move.
I'll say this real quick, Jason. I agree with you, but also the blame should also go to the Supreme Court because this is their decision that's causing this. NCAA lost that court case, and these are the ramifications. Like, it's the Wild West because the NCAA can't do anything about it.
But see, that's where, and Blake, you're onto something extremely accurate because this is the world that we live in. You can pick apart anything at this point. And you can find some way that somebody has been wrong, and you can point it. And so what people do is they shop. We've seen it in the real estate market lately with the big lawsuit that was settled, where they just basically went all over the country and tried to find one place that we could make a change, right? And that's what it's frustrating to me because I think these kids. I can tell you, I sat in my little apartment, balancing my bills back and forth as to which one I was going to pay each month because they would only get cut off if I didn't pay for 3 months in a row. So I had a good rotation going because I had $786 a month to live on. That's rent, that's utilities, that's gas, that's everything. Now, could you have lived on campus? You could. It was $236 in, and you got one meal a day in the dining hall. So yeah, you didn't have any bills, but you didn't have anybody to eat. So it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I go out and you see all these people buying jerseys and everything else, and you're going, I don't understand it. And then you look at coaches, and at that time, coaches could just up and leave you. They could recruit you, and we're going to be here. And we're making $1 million, $2 million a year. We're driving free cars from the dealership in town. We get to have boosters buy us dinners, even though we're making millions of dollars and you make nothing. And if somebody gives you $10 to buy a hamburger, well, by God, you have violated NCAA law. It's bullshit. So now, instead of actually putting in reasonable guide rails that we could do something to compensate the players, make it where, you know what, that they are, if you're using their name, image, or likeness, they get paid. That's fine. I'm 100%. But the way they've done it is so bad. It is so bad.
Yep. And I want to point something out. Tyler was in the chat saying that Sluka had spring and summer to figure this out. No, actually, he didn't. This particular athlete graduated from his first university, Holy Cross, and didn't even enroll at UNLV until the summer. And he was promised, and I'm not trying to throw a stray at a Longhorn, but he was promised, and this is the whole point of the story, Brennan Marion, former UT coach, he's saying Brennan Marion, the OC at UNLV, told him he'd get $100,000 and $3,000 a week as a game check. That was his NIL deal. And then he didn't get anything. And then after week one, they said, hey, where's my check? And it was kind of, hey, the check's in the mail. We'll get it to you later. But then after week 3, Barry Odom, the coach, came to him, his father, and his agent and said, yeah, I didn't authorize that deal. That deal isn't worth anything. You can deal with the coach you talk to if you want, but there is no deal. So this young man who has 1 year left of eligibility in the NCAA, if he played one more game, he had no years left. If he had any chance to go capitalize financially off his ability. And let's be real. He was good at Holy Cross. He was good at UNLV. The guy deserves to make some money plying his craft. He said, sorry, F you, UNLV. I'm out. Sorry, teammates, but you screwed me. The team we play for screwed me. I'm going to go find another university.
Yeah, but to your point,
the NCAA. But we talked about it in the summer with OU and other schools not being able to honor their commitments. Let's be real, Oregon can honor all their commitments. There are other schools that can honor their commitments. Oklahoma has no money. So all these commitments they're making to people won't hold water when it comes time. And those will be the guys looking to transfer. And they'll be transferring right here.
But here's what I would say. I am all for every one of these kids going and getting whatever money you can right now. Because here's the fact. Most of them are not going to have a chance in the NFL. And I will not toot my own horn. I don't care, and I don't care what other people say. But coming out of high school, I was a top-rated quarterback. There was a time when I was in a Heisman conversation. I did not turn the ball over. My completion rate was lower than it probably could have been because I threw the ball out of bounds all the time. Because if it wasn't there, I threw the ball out of bounds because I wasn't turning the damn ball over. That's what I did. I had a good career, but coming out of high school, I was in the first class of the Elite 11. I did all these things. I didn't make the money in the NFL that some people did. So these kids, go make your money while you can. Go make your money. You have a tool. You have a service that you're providing. I'm a free market guy. Goods and services. You have a good. Go make it because you know what? When you get done, you get to go work at United Rentals. And then you get to put your money in Arch Public and you get to talk to the outsiders. So go make your money now.
Hold on. Before I tell the world about Golden Griff, our newest sponsor, I got a dick move for you, Jason.
Oh, what did I do?
My little 13-year-old son, Razor, the 86-pound center who's fighting his ass off against 150-pound defensive tackles, is trying to raise money to get a new Speed Flex helmet for his team. He called you yesterday or today during his fundraising drive. By the way, thank you, Chance, for your donation. Thank you, many of the Outsider Nation who answered Razor's calls. He called you. Not only did you not answer, but this is what my son looks at me and says. Dad, I called a lot of people that have jobs. Jason doesn't have a job. It was 10 a.m. Why didn't he answer my phone call? Dick move, Jason. You did
Hold on. Dick move number 2. Why is your son on a Wednesday during school hours at 10 a.m.
on his
phone for money?
I can't help it that the football coaches decided to make it dialing for dollars during football. They didn't practice today because it was a bye week. So they said, you're dialing for dollars, boys.
My bad, Razor. I apologize. And here's the thing is that I've been around a long time and there's too many people and publicists and random spammers who have my phone number. Maybe because people just give my phone number to their 13-year-old kid without telling me. But if your number was saved in my phone, I would pick it up. But I get like 4 calls an hour from numbers I just don't know. All right, so I can't just pick up every phone call from a number I don't know.
Calls. You don't answer my calls, and I know you have my number in your phone. And half the time it's for me to give you your free shit.
Fair point. Fair point. I'm bad at talking on the phone.
In full fairness, while I was at the University of Texas, I think I had, in my 5 years, I think I had 7 phone numbers. Because I would give my phone number out to everybody. Like, just, here you go, whatever. Because I was, contrary to popular belief, I was a nice guy. I would give my phone number out. And then I get tired of people calling. And so I would just go change my number. Like that way, it was easier for me just to change my number than to tell people, no, you can't have my phone number. So.
Fantastic.
Razor, I love that you pointed out that I was, I should have answered the phone because I was unemployed while you were asking me for money.
It was my son that pointed the joke out, so you can take that up with Razor, who still says
that's what I said, Razor. And I'll send you some bucks, young man. Let's do it.
Before Bo tells us about a new partner here at the Outsiders, Blake, the super producer, we know you have a real job that you may need to be prepared for, so we are going to let you go, get some rest. Best of luck to the Longhorns.
Let Blake tell him about the Rogue Shop.
And oh no, it's true. Blake's got to tell him about. Never mind. You can't move. Yep. Sorry. Never mind. I'm terribly sorry. You have to tell him.
Chad's on the Rogue Shop stuff already.
I am terribly sorry. All right. So as I was saying, whoa, what just happened?
Chad loves the Rogue Shop. Don't we all know that? I love the Rogue Shop. Everybody loves the Rogue Shop. CBD topicals, oils, Delta 8 products, vape batteries, vaporizers, vitamins and supplements, CBD and THC beverages. Guys, it's all 100% legal in the state of Texas. You can order it right now, and you can use the code OUTSIDERS10 for a discount. Man, I know you got aches and pains. Everybody does. I'm only 25 years old, and I got aches and pains. Rogue Shop helps me out, lets me do what I want to do on a daily basis. So get you some Rogue Shop. Go to the website, rogueshop.com, OUTSIDERS10.
That's why we call him Blake the super producer, because he just grabbed the steering wheel and said,
Yeah.
old man, let me drive.
Work.
Hey, and while these guys are gone, I have one more point to make about UNLV. This is not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last time, that $100,000 disappears in Vegas.
That's well done. That's well done. Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Blake, the super producer, everybody. Have a good week, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Y'all too. Welcome.
Next week will be that off week after Texas's first SEC.
We're going to have to pick who does the chat, by the way, because now people are asking who's the chat picker.
Who's the chat picker?
Yeah, we're going to figure it out.
Well, Blake left before we asked him who he picked.
Oh, Blake, are you still in there? Hang on, hold on. Blake might still be there. Blake's still there. All right,
because Blake
back.
Blake,
do you have? Did you pick someone in the chat?
I think there's someone we've been missing this whole time. He's always here. We got to give it to our guy, CB. He's got his picks.
Okay,
He deserves a chance at a poncho shirt.
Chris Bennett is laying the points with Lane and Ole Miss. Arkansas and A&M. He's going over 52.5. He likes the earlier variety. He likes the Sumlin, who would have been at Arkansas at that time. Was that like Sumlin and I can't think of who the Arkansas guy would have been. But yeah, some of those shootouts. And then Kansas -2 versus TCU. Chris Bennett.
He's fading some of our picks here.
Hold on, Blake. Have you seen, in fairness to A&M, have you seen A&M's defense play?
I've seen him play.
How many do you think Arkansas is going to score?
Yeah,
I went with the under.
Chance. Chris Bennett is picking the over.
These are Chris. Okay, sorry.
We try to let Blake go, and now we're putting him on trial. We're like, hey,
Blake, thank you for your service. You can stay. We'd love to have you.
Blake, where were you on the night of the 30th? I don't know.
As the guy who took the Aggies -4, I need points. So let it be a shootout, and let it be. Y'all are going to all lose this week, and I'm going to win, and that's how we end up morphing in the middle in November, and then I triumphantly win this challenge.
I'm excited somebody's picking the Aggies to win by 5 or more, Bo.
I did.
I know. I'm thrilled that you're doing it.
I picked the Aggies multiple times this year. I actually think you have a good football team.
They keep disappointing me.
But everything else is good.
Yep, I agree. Right. Aggies win 7-3. Book it.
7-3, taking the under. Chris Bennett disagrees and says take the over. All right, so Blake, you got Chris Bennett's picks jotted down. We got them all.
I got them.
My dumbass wrote them down.
There you go. All right, even.
Hey, y'all see Kyle W's post right there? That's a true story.
I did
Chance,
not.
I was in Houston last weekend. While you were up here, I was down there.
What are we talking
Somehow
about?
we never actually get to cross paths in person anymore. Is Los Cucos have multiple locations?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I didn't.
They got one on the south side.
Yeah, I was on the south side. I saw Los Cucos. And I was like, there is no chance in hell Chance is going to have margaritas here and driving back to the Woodlands.
No, the one in the Woodlands I've been going to since I was 13 years old, and now on Tuesday nights I go there and I do karaoke.
Oh, nice. What's your go-to karaoke jam, Chance?
Cody Jenks is always my go-to.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick before I leave,
Mason's 101X just kicked in, and he was like, ugh.
70, not 70. 7-3.
Yeah.
70-3.
I'm getting misquoted. 7-3.
7-3. 7-3 is what he said there on that score. All right. Has Blake done everything he's supposed to do?
The Sigma Chi walk-on kicker is out, boys.
Are we good? Okay. All right,
I asked him to find the actual clip of Herb Street pumping Chance up on the Texas-Arkansas game. He didn't do that, but everything else.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. There you go. Whatever semblance of control that I ever had on the Outsiders is totally gone tonight. But I think, Bo, Golden Griff, which sounds like a very interesting thing. Tell the folks what a Golden Griff is all about.
Golden Griff is a brand new player in the market in construction. Whether you need handyman services, a complete remodel of a house, Golden Griff Construction can take care of you. Phone number 512-733-9789. Like I said, handyman, makeover, whatever you need, they have the contractors that have the experience in the industry. This is kind of a brand new company built off the backs of people that have worked for other people's companies. They've gone off on their own with Golden Griff. They're here to take care of you. So now you have personalized handyman service, personalized remodeling experience. You have somebody that will do what you need, when you need, how you need, for a proper price. Golden Griff, scan the QR code, go to www.gold and spelled all the way out, andgriff.com, or call 512-733-9789. Golden Griff will take care of you.
It is the Outsiders on a Wednesday. Remember, if you don't know where the SEC network is on your TV, you better figure that out. Texas and Mississippi State. 3:15 kick on the SEC network.
Chad.
Yes, sir.
I have to say, any Texas fan, and I apologize if I'm speaking to you, but I don't. If you don't know where the SEC network is because you haven't been watching the SEC network prior to Texas joining them, because the SEC shorts are great, the SEC story are great. Like, the SEC network does a great job. If you don't know what that is, I'm so disappointed with you as a football fan in general, because
some people just watch games on their chance, and so I'm just saying they may not have found it yet.
It's one of the greatest channels on TV.
It's a solid channel. It is a solid channel.
Even if you weren't, I played in the Big 12, and at the time the Big 12 was pretty damn good. That was when we had Kansas State was playing. They were in the top 10 every year, and Nebraska was in the top 10 every year, and Colorado was in the top. Oklahoma, even A&M. That game, Sir Parker early in, I guess that was 98 maybe. Sir Parker beat him. I think Mike. We just played Mike Bishop's cousin. He's at Willis now. Lagway was there last year. This year we got Bishop's cousin, who's a freak of nature. By the way, should start recruiting him like ASAP, like right now, because he's a stud. But the Big 12 was the thing, but SEC, man, I mean that goes back so far. I played a golf game with Condris Holloway one time, and it was probably the greatest 18 holes of golf I've ever played. I might have shot a 90. It might have been the worst golf I've actually played, but I rode in a cart with Condris Holloway.
Great.
I was gonna say, Jason and I buy drinks at 90. What are you talking about?
I get to 90. I get to 90 by 14. All right.
Hey, I'm about a 12 handicap. I'm 82 to 84 pretty much consistently. But I got to play 18 holes of golf with Condris Holloway and Jason Witten. And there was also a guy named Jim McMahon in that group, but we won't talk about him because he ended the night. He ended the night differently than I would have hoped it would have ended, but we'll just leave it at that. But, getting to ride around with him and hear the way he told me, as he was making his starts in the SEC in the Deep South, obviously there was some racial tensions there, things that, in today's world we look at and we're like, that's absolutely crazy. But for him, he lived it, right? And to hear all those stories and to have him in a candid, not a TV moment. No, I was a nobody. I was a kid coming out of college that Zeke Brotkowski had put a lot of faith in, and he wanted me to be part of this organization of the NFL players, and he brought me in and he put me in that group. And Condris was my cart buddy, and so for 18 holes, I got a captive audience, and all I could do was listen to this man talk because the stories he told were just like you can't imagine I'm going up to putt, and I'm trying to putt, and I'm like, I can't focus on the putt because I'm thinking about a story he just told me, right? And how impactful that was on the sport of college football, period, altogether. But on that same tournament, I will tell you, this is the only time I've ever won closest to the pin in my entire life. And we're playing in Memphis, and it's a beautiful par 3, and you're kind of up on a hill, and you're hitting down, and Jason Witten hits one. And it's beautiful, and it soars up, and it lands, and it's about 1.5 feet out, and he's inside because this was closest to the pin. You win some wedge that it's out in my bag. Spoiler alert, I won. So Jason's like, oh, beat that. I was like, oh yeah, I'll beat that. Most embarrassing thing I've ever done. So I hit a ball, and it's beautiful. And Bo knows par 3s are my nemesis. I'm a par 5 guy. Like, let me hit the shit out of the ball. I'll be on the green in 2. We're cool. Par 3, it's like the worst thing in the world. It's like my Trump thing. It's like the worst.
People say it's worse. People
Yeah.
say it's bad.
It's
A lot of people.
terrible.
A lot of people talk, say it's terrible. Bad par 3s.
So anyway, so I get up there and I hit it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get my first hole in one. And it hits, it bounces, hits the pin, but it bounces back, and I'm like 6 inches from the hole. And I turn around to Jason Witten, and I go, I'm all in you. And then it hit me. That was not the thing to say.
Jason Witten. Of all people. Jason Witten.
Of all people.
Hey,
Bo,
I won't name the individual that did this, but back in my day where we used to play golf for a significant amount of money and do different things, we were at Forest Creek, number 14 at Forest Creek. There is a gentleman who at the time was very inebriated. We were playing for hundreds of dollars. This drunk son of a bitch blades a 2-iron off the bunker rake. If you're familiar with hole number 14 at Forest Creek, there's a bunker in front of an elevated green that's long, and the pin was in the back. It's about 215 yards. He blades a 2-iron over the water that barely misses the water, hits the bunker rake, skips up, lands on the green, and rolls in the hole. This son of a bitch was laying on the ground doing snow angels. Had no idea what transpired.
Well, hey, that was the best shot I ever hit. Okay, what do you want?
He hit a hole in one and won about $5,000 off this, skipped off the bunker rake hole in one. And this guy was his partner in the Wolf game. Yeah.
Good work.
I was the one picking. I was the one picking the Wolf. So I'd already hit my shot, and it wasn't great. It was around the green. He makes the hole in one, and everybody looks at me. And I go, yeah, I'm picking him. That's my partner.
That's the one.
Pretty good.
Bo, this is the best part. We were playing, if you're familiar with golf betting, there's a rule where you can divorce the person who picks you in a Wolf game, where you can basically say, I'm going off my own F you.
There's a Wolf.
He didn't divorce me. He didn't. We're like, you want to divorce him? He's like, hell no, I already been through a couple divorces. I'm good. Thanks, Mr. Dude. I won't say his name because he's actually known around this town, but yes.
Bo, are you okay from all the names that Chance dropped below you? I mean, you're right underneath him.
Well, I mean, they were falling hard and fast. That's why I didn't drop the name of the individual that was doing snow angels while he made me money. But
the thing I like about Chance's name drops is some of us drop names like Bart, like the dumbbells at the gym, and it's like a 10-pounder. It might be an 8-pound, maybe it's 20. Chance is dropping those big 55-pound ones, those ones that only a certain couple guys can even lift. Jason Witten, boom. Jim McMahon, boom. I'm dropping them all. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this: when we get off this podcast and it's just us people, I'll tell you all the story about McMahon.
Oh no!
Damn. All right,
no,
we'll get that.
All
right,
you want to hang on for this one. I've heard it.
I I'll be waiting for this one. Before we get that one, Chance, before you get to the Jim McMahon story a little later on, why don't you tell people a little bit about United Rentals and what's going on over at United Rentals?
So United Rentals, it's who employs me on a day-to-day basis. Why they do it, I am really not sure. But I will tell you, one thing that we're constantly looking for is new people to come over to United Rentals. We're known in the construction world. We don't need to advertise and talk to people about their construction needs. They know us. We're the biggest in the world. We got 33,000 employees. We're worldwide. We are the biggest in our game. What we need is good people. That's what I keep asking the guys. I'm like, when you want me to talk about this ad, what do you want me to talk about? And they keep saying, we want good people. We want drivers. We want techs. We want people in operations. We want people in sales. It is a great company. It is a company with incredible. I'm going to stop the actual read, and I'm just going to tell you my own story. I left United Rentals, went to another company because I thought the opportunity would be better. It was a great company. The pay was fantastic. The benefits were great. The culture was not the same. I'm back at United Rentals now. Why? Because I love the people I work with. I love how they treat our people. They have a thing that is called the Compassion Fund that every person in the company has the opportunity to donate to out of each paycheck. It could be $1, it could be $5, it could be whatever your means are, or you don't have to donate at all. But when there's a hurricane that comes through, we had some people that lost homes in the past hurricane here in Beryl. United Rentals Compassion Fund stepped in. Not only did they pay for their hotel, they paid for new clothes, they took care of their kids. The Compassion Fund took care of. That's the kind of company United Rentals is. So if you're looking at making a change, check out United Rentals. Whether you're a driver, if you have no construction experience at all, it's okay. They will train you. They'll make you how you need to be, and they will get you where you need to go. And it is a great company. The culture is fantastic. I would suggest to anybody, if you have any interest, feel free to. You can message me on the Twitter or the X or whatever it's called, and you can talk to me about it. I'm more than happy to share my story because I want people to have the same opportunity that I have with a great company. So check us out, United Rentals. It's wonderful.
Shout out to United Rentals and all the great partners we have here on The Outsiders. And as we get ready for Texas and Mississippi State on Saturday, Bo Edge's finger has a point.
Well, we got DRT Lawyer and Big Cheddar asking why the Chris Abbott introduction of Legitimately Worth the Shit is not here anymore. Those are YouTube rules. And we are not allowed to play the music that we used to play made by Jason's band. What was it called, Jason? The Sucktones?
The Sucktones. We're not. Why are we not allowed to play it?
It's not about allowed, y'all. What it's about is, believe it or not, a 30-second intro gets skipped over a ton in YouTube world. Intros are kind of, it's like old school. It's for old radio guys like me and Jason. Hey, Jason, let's come up with an intro. They don't care about that stuff anymore. What they care about is get right to that content. And if you show me a little bit of a show, am I going to stay with it? I might not stay with it if there's an intro running. So we apologize for that part to all those outsiders that love
Do you
Chris
have
Abbott.
the clip, Chad?
What's that?
Do you happen to have the clip? Does anybody have the clip?
Yeah, we can play it now.
You could have just played it and just say, hey, we are legitimately
worth the shit.
Worth the shit.
Now we could, let's see, is it still in there? It's actually not still in there.
You know what also gets skipped over is doing the pre-production meeting on the air as we're doing right now.
Yeah, that could happen too.
Okay, we've reached the 9:49 point of this show, so things got to get off the rail. I'm drinking a whole Big Sips Miracle all this whiskey, and things happen.
Yeah, it would happen. All right, we did get we got a super chat in. I don't think we've gotten to this one yet. For $4.99, he's going for the corner. It's a good name. Has any other generation of Horns fans alive been through what we went through from 2011 to 2021 and bounced back like we are now? Other generation.
It's got a lot of parts.
There's a lot.
I don't know. The late 80s had kind of a heart because I was a Tech fan at that time, so I know that Texas struggled a little bit in the late. Obviously, in the early 80s, they had some good years there with Akers, and then even McWilliams popped in, and then there was like kind of a little lull, and then I just don't think we've ever had the letdown that we've had the last, that era of 10 years.
Well, I mean, I would say most of the like the McWilliams Makovic era had a couple spikes, like the Shock the Nation tour team that wasn't supposed to be as good as it was, the team that won the Big 12 title over Nebraska in 96. But for a while there, Texas was not the national player that they are now. They got back to it. They dwindled a little bit down. But all teams have those ebbs and flows. Alabama's had those. Georgia's had those. The big players, Ohio State has had way down periods of time. It happens in every program because the wrong hire or the wrong system doesn't work, and then you have to recorrect. And it's not easy. Like what Sark is doing at the University of Texas should be applauded, not degraded. I'm not talking about by anybody in this room. I'm just talking about by the general populace. What Sark is doing is building it back, and it takes time and it takes steps, and that's why it doesn't all happen in one day.
But don't you think that era is over, Bo, with the transfer portal and NIL and all of these things? Like, you can take a team that is garbage and in 2 years put them in the playoff.
Well, I think Jason's
in a 12-team playoff. Yes.
Right. I think Jason's 100% right on this. And this is where, again, I go back to Urban Meyer, who character, not a big fan. Coach, huge fan. But Urban Meyer said in the old days, if you had a right guard that was a liability, he was a problem, but he was a junior, and you went and recruited somebody else to come in, then you're hoping that they can get caught up to speed. But if they can't, you're still stuck with that guy for another year, right? Teams like Texas, they have no holes because, okay, we lost Adonai Mitchell. We lost Jordan Whittington. We lost Xavier Worthy. We lost Jatavion Sanders. And we went, okay, Bolden, Golden,
Bond.
We'll get Wingo, Bond. Here we go. Come on. And now
he was the only freshman in that bunch. The rest of them are all guns for hire, and that's okay in this current landscape.
That's the new world. That's the world that we live in. And I think it's a shitty world. It's a good world for Texas, but I'm a college football traditionalist. I love college football, and I love the parity that college football got to when you had teams like Louisville, like making the playoffs, and you had these teams that nobody expected them to do well, and they did. And I love that because at the end of the day, each team only has a limited number of scholarships. And so the city of Houston alone puts out 100 Division I athletes a year. 100. That's 5 full recruiting classes for a college Division I team. That's the city of Houston. Now let's branch it out to the rest of Texas and Florida and Ohio and Pennsylvania and California and Florida. There's so many athletes that parity came into play. And that was Mac's big deal. Mac used to say there is parity in college football. And we finally freaking got there. And then what they do? They said, NIL. We're going to go back to the 60s when the people with all the money get to rule the roost. That's what we did. And that's a fact.
I don't follow as close as you guys did. Did Urban Meyer do something that we shouldn't like his character for? I don't know about.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Urban himself, I don't care what he did.
Wait,
hey, there's a new documentary. It's on FX. It's a Aaron Hernandez story.
Yeah.
That's a drop in the bucket, sir.
Jason, I don't know that he did one thing so much as he did like 31 things, but we don't have time really to get to all of them.
The one thing I really wish somebody would ask, and I know we got to get to the super chat. I want somebody to ask Uber Christian Tim Tebow how he shared a locker room with the monster that was Aaron Hernandez and some of his other teammates, and look the other way because he was winning a trophy. Because you can't be both ways. You can't be Uber this way and then condone all that.
Well, I mean, to Sandman's point, we dodged a bullet, and there was a lot of pressure on the Urban Meyer to Texas deal. There was a lot of pressure from external forces, from internal forces. People wanting Urban, let's win. Jason's one of them.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's a minor external force.
yeah. But the point being, man, that was I have to choose my words very carefully here because I don't want to disparage what Urban did on the field. What I don't appreciate is what Urban allowed because he didn't do anything. What he did was he looked the other way while the things were happening.
Well, no, it's the Art Briles. I don't see it. It didn't happen. Although some of us that are more in the know what Art Briles was actually involved in. And he knew 100%. And when Jeff Lebby gets his ass kicked this week, it will be just a small little bit of comeuppance for the things he participated in. But that's neither here nor there. We're not getting into rumors and innuendo. Urban looked the other way. That doesn't mean Urban did the deeds. It just means Urban didn't care that the deeds were being done under his watch.
No, it meant that Urban was willing to say the program's bigger than you, and I'm going to take care of it. That's what it was.
The last three coaches I was desperate for us to hire were Urban Meyer, Chip Kelly, and John Gruden. So I got it figured out.
Nice.
Okay. Of that list, Chip Kelly has done nothing wrong.
Just not done
I'm
a
still
lot right.
going to be the first one to tell you, I have some John Gruden stories that would blow your mind.
Oh, I've heard them.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not even on the Outsiders are you telling those stories.
Yeah,
I won't tell those stories in public, period. Those are like, we're sitting on the couch having a cocktail.
Private.
Yeah, it's not. But that being said, I would have loved to have John Gruden coaching the Longhorns. You want to talk about a recruiting monster? He would have killed it. Now, we probably would have had 15 years of trying to clean up the mess afterwards, but we'd have won a lot of games.
We dodged the Urban Meyer bullet. God, I'm trying to put together a joke.
I love that one of our chatters said, Jesus, Jason, go back to the tub.
Oh, well, wait. We got 3 minutes left in the show. The tub time is coming up. All right.
There is no time limit, but tub time is available. Just like Birdie's available, tub time is always available.
Yeah, there's a bad joke about who didn't dodge a bullet, but I'm going to move
make sure
on.
that you don't come on the show during tub time. We don't need to see that.
Yeah,
I'm just
that was
move
good,
on.
Chad. I heard that.
I'm just moving on to the super chat. No, that's all right, Jason. Nobody's listening. $5. We'll just move on to so I won't get in trouble. I was born in 1980. I'd say the mid 80s until Matt got hired. Saved the shock the world Brian Jones team in 1990. So they're saying 80s that's all the way through 98 as the darkest period for a Texas football fan.
I don't think so.
You got a conference title in 96. You got Makovic. Makovic won, what was it? You got 95, 94, 95, and 96? Do I have that right?
96, they had a co-conference championship with Texas Tech.
No. 96
they beat my cousin's Nebraska team in the Big 12 title game in St. Louis.
Last season of
rolling
the
out
conference.
No, 95. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
They had co-conference championships because Texas Tech had to go play USC against Keyshawn Johnson and get their ass actually handed to them. I was a Tech fan at the time. I know this.
That was 94, right?
No,
is that the 94
season?
season?
He's right.
It was
not
Keyshawn
96,
Johnson,
though.
96,
Texas-
Cotton Bowl. Yes.
Texas won the Big 12 in 96.
I was in Red River, New Mexico when in my starter Texas Tech jacket that I was so happy about.
Blurry.
Yeah. 90. I mean, that 96 is Texas winning the Big 12. That's first year of the Big 12. That's Texas over Nebraska.
96 was the first year of the Big 12. 95 was the year when all of them tied.
Oh, because A&M's on probation, then that was 95.
That was
Okay,
95 when they all tied. It was the 96 Big 12 championship at the Trans World Dome in St. Louis when Texas beat Nebraska with James Brown's roll left.
Okay. There's a lot of dates being thrown
95.
out.
I'm talking about the 95 year when they had the co-champions.
Well, that's when they had 6 champions because Texas A&M couldn't win it because they were on probation.
And Texas Tech was the last to win it, so they had to play USC with Keyshawn Johnson in the Cotton Bowl. That was the whole tortilla deal, and they got absolutely
Rice got a piece of that 96 or 95 title.
They were annihilated.
Yeah, right.
Here
comes a chatter. Rice was part of that 17-way tie when the Southwest Conference was disbanding. Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Right. Yeah. Right. There was 4.
By the way, speaking of my cousin, I don't know if I pointed it out, but I will point it out again.
We're gonna get to cousin.
My cousin's daughter went to Greece to wrestle in the Beach World Wrestling Championships.
94. Yeah.
In the 17 and under division, USA won gold. In the 20 and under division, USA won silver. And my cousin's daughter won a silver as an individual wrestler in 17U 175 weight class.
Nice.
She walked away with 3 medals in Athens at the World Championships in beach wrestling.
Very cool. Very cool. By the way, Chris Bennett is clarifying, and it's ironic that I'm helping him clarify, but Texas won sole champs in 95.
Oh God, what is he?
Now we're holding phones up.
Chance, you're helping prove the point. January of 95, 94 season.
Yes, it was the 94-95. That was that
because
95.
This is officially going off the rails. Jason, tub time can commence.
I'm just trying to we got to put the proper feel on 95 in College Station. Like that game wasn't a whole bunch of people are tied, and it didn't. That was the last Southwest Conference game, and it meant a ton. That was a big deal when Texas went to College Station.
Y'all have no idea.
And ended that win streak and all that stuff. That wasn't just
no idea.
High.
Right. I've been drinking whiskey for about 2 hours straight.
All right.
That's your fault.
But I'm just imagining that James Brown and Ricky Williams and a whole bunch of dudes are watching tonight going, wait a second. Hold on.
Hey, for me, I was a Texas Tech fan at that time.
What?
Okay. So that was a big moment for me. I was skiing down the slopes of Red River, New Mexico in my starter jacket that I got for Christmas that I'm sure my parents had to save for 3 months to get because we had 3 kids and life wasn't always perfect, but my parents did everything they could to make sure we had everything that we wanted. Like there was nothing we ever asked for. And now that I'm a parent, I look back at my parents and I'm like, God, how did y'all pull all that off? They're incredible people. But I remember skiing down the slopes, and I'm in my Texas Tech starter jacket, and I thought it was so cool. And then the next day, we just got Keyshawn Johnson made Texas Tech look so stupid. It was hysterical.
That was a good day. That was a good day. Chance, I know for you it wasn't at that exact moment, but for me, as someone who doesn't root for Tech, I really enjoyed that day. I loved watching Keyshawn go all up and down that. I almost enjoyed it as much as a Bucs fan as I did watching him actually help win a Super Bowl. Like it was that level of excitement that day. Bo, are you okay? I was wondering if you took yourself out to throw up. Are you all right?
Yeah. We suspended him for 2 hours of whiskey drinking.
I was on my 3rd decent-sized whiskey and Coke and a Coors Light and a Big Sips, and I needed to urinate. Sorry.
Had to hit the bathroom. You didn't need to say that word.
You peed as fast as a girl.
You should have just said bathroom.
I have the bladder of a girl, but it had to happen.
He's just got a bottle under the table, Chance. All right. He didn't have to go anywhere.
Chance has. I don't have a bottle under the table.
All right, so there's a lot going on tonight. I understand that, but you know what? We're not getting out of here, Chance, till we look at your conference rankings because, damn it, I made a graphic of your SEC rankings, and we should take a peek at it. Here are your updated rankings. The Longhorns, it's a 116 matchup in Austin this week. Look at there, fellas.
Yeah.
Here's the full rundown, Chance. I wanted to ask you about your 4, 5, 6. Any thought to putting Tennessee at 4 after what they did in Norman?
There was a lot of thought of putting Tennessee at 4. I really, really, really struggled with it. My problem was, and I think it had to do with Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel could have put the freaking pedal to the metal, which I think Lane Kiffin would have. But Josh was in his old hometown. And, where he won a national title, and I think he pulled the brakes off. So I said, no, I'm not switching them. They were 4-5 going into last week. I wasn't going to switch them because Josh could have done more. I thought that his performance was, I'm going to say, shitty. That's a good word. It's the best I can come up with. Because at the end of the day, he could have put 60 on Oklahoma. He could have, and he didn't. And he didn't do it. I mean, his play calling was so weak in the second half, and I was like, oh my God, he is really trying to save face in his own town. So that's why it stayed where it's at.
All right, fair enough. Bo or Jason, any issues with Chance's rankings here?
I would have a question about him.
I would have had Tennessee 3, honestly. Like if you
Really?
were to rank them in terms of the teams that I'm most afraid to play, I would put Tennessee 3. But that's it. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay.
My question was, is the year that Texas comes to the SEC where it, quote, means more, is this not the most top-heavy conference you've ever seen? Like, once you get past 6, every other team, and LSU was included in that. Sorry, Tracy. Sorry, LSU fans. Every other team on that list is dog shit.
Wow.
I'm not saying they're
none of those teams belong to be.
Haven't you threatened that Arkansas would beat Texas? I mean, like, I don't know if I would call them dog shit.
They're all dog shit. Sorry, none of those.
Hey, lots of
they are bad teams.
For Bo, my goodness, my goodness. Well, the thing is, something hit me today, fellas, that I've always said it just means more is one of the most true things ever spoken. But think carefully. It just means more. It doesn't say there's better football. It doesn't say it's super high quality football.
God,
That's
you were
so
good. You were so good at spinning the message, Chad.
No, there's a lot of that's what people don't realize. There's a lot of magician hands in the SEC, non-conference schedules, Western Carolina, 10-win seasons. There's a lot of it that is a little bit jazz handy that SEC people will not admit to you.
Yeah.
That's one of the key elements. And Bo, there are a lot of years where I think you can safely say that the middle to bottom of the SEC, it just means more, but it doesn't mean there's great football.
No, so I guess my point is the middle to bottom of the SEC is the same as the middle to the bottom of the Big 12 or the Big 10. Like there is no differentiation.
But the top is so good. The top is so good.
Right.
The top is the top. Like the top 6 in the SEC are better than any other conference.
It's a cup of cappuccino. Like the cream is at the top and the rest is just bullshit.
Okay, so give me, Bo, I'm going to put this up again. Give me the spot. Where does it turn to garbage for you again? LSU?
I won't say Missouri is garbage. I think they're an overrated, undefeated team, but they're not garbage. But from LSU down, that's the Big 12 reincarnated. That's the middle of the Big 10. Like the SEC doesn't mean more on the bottom. It just means more on the top.
Okay, so let's look at this list. Texas is going to play 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That's perfectly.
14,
Great.
and 16. So you're telling me that all of those teams are garbage. Texas A&M against Arkansas this week is garbage versus garbage.
Do you really think either one of those teams has a relevant shot at the playoff? I know that you're an Aggie fan. Do you think either one of those teams is sniffing the playoff?
I don't think so, but I think they're better than a lot of teams around the country. I really do.
We've transitioned from garbage, from dog shit to garbage.
I'm not. Look, you guys know. I agree with Bo on a lot of things, and it's crazy because we talk outside this show and like we get along on a lot of things. I don't. I think there's some weaker teams in the SEC this year. I think it's a great year for Texas to join the SEC.
Yes.
And I think it's odd that Oklahoma is so bad right now. They're just in. We didn't even get into the Jackson Arnold talk, which you want to talk about screwing yourself for future 5-star quarterbacks. Holy shit. You want to talk about messing up something? Brent Venables is writing a blueprint for how do I not get 5-star quarterbacks to come to my school. He's writing the blueprint right now.
All right, fellas, we did get a couple super chats. I grabbed that one. We didn't get this one yet. ATX Bates threw this in. $4.99 super chat. Buy or sell if Texas wins versus Colorado in 01. Texas keeps it closer than Nebraska against Miami.
I think we win.
I don't think go that far, but I think that
I'm telling you, I'm putting my stamp on it. I think we win.
Yeah, I'm not going that far either, but I will buy the buy or sell, Bates. I will
say that they did better because the matchup was better for Texas against that Nebraska team.
It also depends on how they would have handled, the whole quarterback thing. Do we know for sure how Mac would have handled quarterback? Jason, that may be where you were going to go. Can I trust Mac Brown and Greg Davis to figure out what they need to do, Chance, against that group in 01? That Miami team was nasty good. Can I trust that Mac and Greg Davis would have figured that out?
Before Chance goes, this is like my favorite what if ever. Because if I remember correctly, that was the Chris Sims turns it over 3 times versus Colorado in the first quarter, 4 times, excuse me. And then a Philip Geiger thing late in the game cost them. And they go to the Holiday Bowl versus Washington, I believe. And Mac starts Major Applewhite and says, Major has earned it. And had they won that game and gone to the national championship, would Major have not earned it? Would he have not earned it? Because there's no way he was going to start Major Applewhite, right? There's no way that Mac would have not just started Chris.
Oh, if we come back and beat Colorado after being down, there's no way Mac doesn't start Major in that game.
Really? Really?
I mean, you would hope. If that was the case, Jason, if that plays out and he puts Major in, but they figure it out and they beat Colorado, you'd think he would have to go with 11 in the title game.
I don't think, right? I would think. I would love for him to.
Chance was there. I guarantee you he'll say the same thing. Major was starting the national championship game against Nebraska if they played it.
Wow.
Okay.
No, we wouldn't have started against Nebraska. It'd have been against Miami.
Against Miami, right? Against Miami, right?
And we wanted Miami so bad. And I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
we're sitting there.
Texas absolutely beats that Nebraska team for a title.
Yeah, everybody beats that Nebraska team. They weren't that good.
We beat Nebraska by 21, but we're sitting there and we're in pregame and we're going through pregame and we're in Texas Stadium and nobody in the entire stadium is looking at the field while we're in pregame because all the screens are on the SEC championship.
Yeah,
I was there in the stadium. When it went down and Texas had their shot, we were already on our phones trying to figure out a way to book national championship game scenarios.
So we'd already
beaten over. We'd already beaten ass that year.
We beat Colorado 48-6. It was around there. We dominated them at home, and that was Sed Benson's first big run down the sideline. If you remember, it was to the left side. It was on our home sideline, headed towards the north end zone. That was his first big, he broke a run, and we went, okay, he's got a little bit of speed. He didn't have a lot. Everybody wants to make Sed fast. Sed was a 4.6 guy. Let's be real honest about what he was. So, and I love Sed. But we get in the locker room because we're seeing, we're hearing the crowd during pregame, and it's not like a normal pregame where wide receivers run out and everybody's like, oh, and the quarterback's run, oh, and then all this. No, it was we come out and there's nothing. And we're like, what the is going on, right? And then all of a sudden we're looking up and we're watching and we're seeing, we're like, oh my God. So then we come in the locker room and Coach Brown goes, boys, if you don't think this shit didn't get real big, it just did. You win, we're in the national championship. And we're like, yeah. And then we come out and turn the ball over.
And then it turned into a different story. If you want to throw us a super chat, we will take that before we get out of here. Did I miss this one? No, we got that one. That was the one we just hit about Colorado in 01. Since Mac Brown was brought up, real quick, Chance, before we get out of here, I had a Mac Brown epiphany during the show. Back to the UNLV thing. One of Mac's sayings, I think you can back me up here. Didn't Mac like to talk about you can't be partially pregnant? Wasn't Mac one of those guys?
Oh, that was the first time I ever heard that statement.
Okay, so here's what I think this kid just did, this Matthew Sluka kid. My name is Sluka. I live upstairs from you, and I'm not playing for you anymore.
I live on the second floor, but okay.
Yeah. I like that. Well done. Look at you. Suzanne Vega music snob. Excellent work. So what the kid just did, Chance, is he said to every coach and every administrator in college football, y'all, are you sure you want to be partially pregnant? Because we're not going to let you be partially pregnant anymore. Back in the day when Mac would say that, if he was saying it about this, he'd have been wrong. Because you've always been able to be partially pregnant. A&M and SMU were both partially pregnant with Eric Dickerson. But the key was when it goes one way, A&M can't start screaming and yelling, wait a minute, we gave him a Trans Am and he didn't come and play here. You can't do it that way because it's illegal at the time. It's against the rules, and you would have been outing yourself as the bad guy. But now it's a little different. Now you're in a world where you don't want contracts and you just want handshakes. Handshakes are cool if they're done with honest people, but everybody's not going to be honest. That's why others would have contracts. So you either go down the path where you lay all the contracts out, or you stick in your Wild West world where it's now on top of the table. And the risk is these kids are going to stand up and they're going to get on social media and they're going to say, they promised me this, they didn't deliver this. So they tried to be partially pregnant, and I'm calling them on it. And that's where it's different, Chance, than it's always been. This kid, today Catch called him the Kurt Flood of NIL, and it may be a little over the top, but it might also be true.
No, it's true.
This is the first kid that's got enough guts, because then his running back said, you know what? I'm going to. Yes. And that's what they're calling these coaches and administrators on. So all you coaches and administrators, get your paper and get your pens and figure out contracts, or do what your handshake said it was going to do.
But I think it needs to moment. Hold on, Bo, 1 second. I think it needs to go both ways. There's a reason why contracts are enforced and why they're signed. It has to go both ways. And I think for number one, for the player, you need to have known this is what I'm going to get if I come here. Mm-hmm. Move on. On the other side, the people that are paying that money, how many times have we seen kids, you're going to get $100,000, they give them $100,000 and then they're not starting the first year and then they transfer. They've already got their $100,000. So the people that paid them in Oxford or in Gainesville or in Boulder or wherever, they got screwed on the deal. They got screwed on it because the player left. So until you put pen on paper and make it right, that's what I'm saying. The NCAA has ultimately screwed this, and I hope Reese Davis is not watching this because I'll never be on SportsCenter for it or Gameday. They fucked this whole thing up. They messed it up bad because they allowed it to go crazy instead of doing it the right way and saying, all right, here's the rules, here's the guidelines, the players should be paid, and here's how it works. They didn't. And they've allowed that ambiguity that
stuck their head in the sand. Just put their head in the sand.
Right. They made Eric Dickerson legal and then made no rules.
Well, no, they didn't want to be involved in it. They didn't want to have to be handcuffed by it. They didn't want to have to deal with it. But the bottom line is UNLV offered a kid, and I'm sorry, it was a former UT coach, Brendan Marion, by all accounts, that offered Sluka $100,000 that they reneged on. That's what this is all about. This is finally just a player saying, F you. You told me you're going to give me $100,000. You're not going to give me $100,000. I'm not going to burn my last year of eligibility for you. I'm out.
And in the old days, Bo, that would have been them outing themselves and getting themselves in trouble, SMU players or whoever else. Yeah. But nowadays, they have the power to do what this kid is doing, where it's like, whoa, hold on. I'm going to keep this red shirt possibility. And then when that transfer portal opens back up, I'm going to take me some visits, and I'm going to find me a school that does pay.
Matthew Sluka will be at an SEC school near you in the foreseeable future. He's won at Holy Cross. He's won at UNLV. Ladies and gentlemen, you have your next Mississippi State quarterback. His name is Matthew Sluka, and he'll be there next year, and they actually will pay for the deal.
As the only sad, childless person on this show intentionally, just want to say I'm freaked out by all this pregnancy talk. All right. I don't know about partially pregnant or fully pregnant.
Partial, not
Jason,
all the way. Not all the
I'm
way.
freaked out. Okay.
Before we hit eject on this show and before we get kicked off the YouTube airways, let me just tell you, you can't get pregnant during tub time.
I don't think that's science. I don't think that's right.
No.
Okay.
That's an old wives'
When
tale.
you're by yourself in your bathtub, there is no pregnancy
This
available.
is not a health teacher, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
not a health
Don't
teacher.
listen to this man.
That is not
As
how it
you
works.
tell our listeners, Birdie's available, Eagle's available. When you're by yourself in tub time, pregnancy is not.
All right, now that may be true. We're going to double check that. We're going to double check Bo's numbers on that one. All right, there you go. I think
Sorry,
that's
I had to jump off because Lane Kitten was about to knock a blender off of the counter.
my God. He didn't break your blender, did he?
No,
right,
I saved it. That's why I jumped off. I was like, Lane Kitten is getting crazy over here.
And our fans think Jackson Arnold's going to be at Mississippi State. Well, maybe, but I think Matthew Sluko is going to be at NC State.
Matthew Sluko. All right, he is the new hero.
I
to
think
a lot of
Lane
people.
Kitten's going to be at Florida.
Could happen.
That's
could
what I
happen.
think is going to happen.
Before we get out of here, we remind you one more time, The Outsiders is brought to you by Poncho. Bo's rocking this one tonight, the San Jacinto. It's got the logo. It's got the Texas on the sleeve. And as we showed you earlier, if you're more of a denim person, at Daryl's pretty badass. I mean, come on. You can imagine Daryl rocking that shirt. He's out there at the Austin Country Club. He's climbing down that hill to pick some golf balls, and he's wearing that shirt. You know it's true. You know he would do it. Also, check out the kid shirts, the Ricky, the Spur. Make sure you mention Orange Bloods Live when you place your order. We would appreciate it. Outsiders brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. All right, Texas and Mississippi State, 3:15 on SEC Network this Saturday. We'll be back on Monday to review it all. There'll be 2 Monday Night Football games, but Chance's blood pressure will be a lot lower because his Bills are not involved. And last week, the Bills' opponent was not involved in a Monday. Now, Chance, I want to tell you,
Hey, Josh Allen's the MVP.
I mean, that group, how well did they play last week? My goodness.
We got a good football team.
You really do. You have a hand-painted bowling pin, kind of a football team going there. My goodness. All right, everybody have a good week. We will talk to you Monday night at 8:30 right here on Orange Bloods Live. We are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit, and we'll try to bring you the sound at some